In the opening scene of the movie, children are engaged in a game of hide and seek. The seeker, a young boy, begins counting while the others hide. During this time, someone or something swiftly passes behind the boy, creating an eerie and mysterious moment. As the boy begins seeking the other children, he hears a mysterious voice from behind an old refrigerator. When he investigates, he spots a child's foot protruding from the hiding place. However, what he encounters when he approaches terrifies him.
لازم تواجهه.
رفعت.
هل فعلا شيراز ورا كل ده؟
We then see Professor Rifat, whose life seems to be plagued by a series of unfortunate and unusual events, from spontaneous coffee spills to unwelcome encounters with cardamom in his food, bird droppings while walking, and even a chandelier mishap at home. These events certainly contribute to a sense of unpredictability and frustration in his life. He believes that there are no demons or ghosts. He believed that demons and ghosts do not exist, and we consider the breeze that moves the curtains to be some mythical monster, and when the door hinges and squeaks, we say that the door was closed by a demon. He thinks that we consider the shadow created by street lampposts and tree leaves a ghostly presence. Today is Rifat's 40th birthday, and he decides to wear his dark blue suit, which he believes makes him extremely attractive. He receives a call from Rifat, who is making lunch, and informs him that Haweda might join them. Although Rifat isn't fond of birthdays and surprises, Rifat convinces him that it's just a regular gathering. Before heading out, Rifat leaves his cat out, and it's revealed that he adopted the cat by force. Rifat arrives at his office, and to his surprise, he finds his longtime crush Maggie waiting for him, with whom he is meeting after 15 years. He thinks he knows now why he had a hunch to wear his dark blue suit today. Rifat asks her what brings her here, to which Maggie explains that she usually declined the university grant to Egypt but decided to come this year after her divorce. She felt the need to go somewhere far and start anew. Rifat tells her that he is going to his sister's for lunch, and he invites her to join him for lunch at his sister's place, despite being aware that Rifat will not like it. In Rifat's house, while preparing lunch, we learn that Haweda is Rifat's little cousin and is now his fiancée, with plans to become his wife soon. Rifat's son Taha enters the scene and attempts to tell her something. However, Rifat brushes him off and instructs Haweda to serve him some food. When a plate falls and shatters, Taha swears that he didn't touch it, but Rifat scolds him, prompting him to run away. Later, when Rifat reaches Rifat's house with Maggie, he notices someone's foot while going upstairs, which disappears the next moment. Now when he enters the home, the unexpected arrival of Rifat with Maggie surprises everyone in the house. Maggie tells them that Rifat and she studied together in Scotland. Rifat then introduces Rifat as her sister, and Talat as her husband, Rifat his older brother, and Medhat, Talat's brother, and his wife Elam. He also introduces her to Haweda as her cousin and fiancée. During the meal, Rifat's ongoing streak of bad luck with cardamom continues, as he once again finds cardamom in his mouth, and he leaves saying he is going to go for a smoke on the terrace. Once out, he finds that he is out of cigarettes, so he asks Taha to buy a pack of cigarettes for him. Taha, hesitant to go alone, is motivated by the prospect of keeping the change to buy candy. Now when he returns to the table, they tell Maggie that Rifat's first love was Shiraz, and only then do the lights go off, and they say that this is a raid. The movie then shifts to Mansara in 1940, where young Rifat is playing hide and seek with his friends. While hiding, he spots a mansion and a girl standing at the gate of that mansion. As it gets late, Rifat and the other children start worrying about Rifat. They eventually find him with the girl at Al-Qadroi's house, and Talat warns them that if Rifat finds out, they will all be in trouble. Rifat asks the girl who she is, to which she introduces herself as Shiraz and asks Rifat if he would like to play with her. In the present, the family gathers in the basement, and Elam's daughter informs them that Taha is missing. Rifat mentions that he had sent Taha to buy cigarettes. This worries everyone, especially Rifat, who becomes very angry at Rifat for letting Taha go alone. Rifat then leaves the basement to find Taha. Shortly after Rifat's departure, the family hears a loud thud from upstairs, and Rifat says that Taha must be upstairs. In 1940, Shiraz leads Rifat and his friends into the mansion, and they are astonished by the grandeur of the place. She warns them to be quiet because her mother and grandfather don't like noise. She then guides them to the dining area and asks them to take their seats before leaving the room. Elam expresses her unease about the situation, suggesting that they should leave and go back home, but Medhat dismisses her concerns, assuring her that the mansion is just like any other house. Only then does the door open and Shiraz comes there with juice and jello for them. Rifat says that those are strange colors, to which Shiraz says they make them out of the fruit that they grow in their garden. Now while they were leaving, Shiraz asks them will they come to play with her every day. The next day, they play hide and seek again, and he finds Shiraz. He asks her does she keeps hiding in obvious places just so he can catch her, to which she says she made it easy for him to catch her so they won't make fun of him. She asks him what would he do for her in return, to which he says whatever she wants. Shiraz says she wants berries on the left branch up there. He immediately climbs a tree to pick berries for her, and when he gives them to her, he confesses that he thinks he loves her. Shiraz laughs at him and says she will go tell them, but when he pleads with her to stop, she falls on a rock. However, she gets up laughing, and Rifat is astonished to see the wound on her forehead miraculously healing on its own. Back to the present, Rifat is looking for Taha in Riafa's apartment, and suddenly the window opens automatically. Now because he doesn't believe in the supernatural, he ignores it, but suddenly Maggie comes from behind him. She says she didn't know he got engaged. Meanwhile, Taha is seen holding a pair of scissors as he approaches a group of hens. Just as he's about to cut off a chicken's neck, Rida becomes aware of approaching footsteps from behind him. However, when he turns around, he finds no one there. Returning to the past, all the children realize that Shiraz is not a normal girl, so they decide not to inform Rida about her and to avoid that place in the future. Later, Rifat meets with Shiraz alone, and she asks if he's willing to stay with her forever and do anything she asks. Rifat agrees, and she leads him inside her house, and they initiate a game of hide and seek. As Shiraz goes to hide, the candles mysteriously extinguish, and when Rifat turns around, he is startled to find the once intact house has now become a ruined and eerie place. Other kids go to Rida and tell him that Rifat went to the Al-Qadri house by himself, and he hasn't come back yet. Here Rifat tries to leave the house but the door is locked. Then he hears the sounds of someone screaming and crying, and when he goes upstairs to check, he sees a woman giving birth to a child. Meanwhile, Rida and the other children reach Shiraz's house, where they start pounding on the door, and Rifat notices that the house has transformed. Here Rifat finds Shiraz on the terrace of the house and she says that he has won because he found her. She asks him to climb up and jump to her side. Rifat says the house looks weird now and he saw strange people downstairs, to which she says she sees them too. They are not real and they are only in their heads. She then says if he jumps and joins over here, he will never see them again, and they will be together. Only then Rida and the other children see Rifat standing on the corner of the terrace and ask him to come down, but Shiraz tells him to forget about them. Back to the present, Rifat and Maggie rushes to the roof, and they get shocked to find Taha standing on the corner of the roof. Shiraz tells Rifat not to be scared because she will catch him, but she withdraws her hands, causing him to fall, but Rida manages to catch him, although he sustains a broken leg in the process. Here Rifat catches Taha and saves him, and when they are going down, Rifat notices that Taha has used chicken's blood to write the word death on the wall. Rida asks everyone to swear on the Quran that they will never go near the Al-Qadri's house again. Rifat says that the house isn't what they think it is, to which Rida tells him that after the house burned down, the people who tried to live there all died. Back to the present, everyone comes back to the apartment and Rifat tells Medhat that it's all his fault. It's because he said her name. Rida says it's not her and it's better not to bring it up. Later, Rifat approaches Taha with a dessert and offers an apology. Taha then shares that he saw a little girl the previous day and felt frightened to venture downstairs and encounter her again. This girl was dressed in white, like a ghost. Rifat admits that he can also see her and other supernatural entities. He proceeds to describe the various apparitions, such as an evil witch by the chair and a headless man near the coat rack, but Taha remains unable to perceive them. Rifat clarifies that he doesn't see these entities with his physical eyes but with his mind, and to prevent his mind from seeing them, he must overcome his fear. Now as Rifat is leaving, Taha asks him why he wiped off the writing that was on the wall, but he ignores his words and leaves there. Later, when Rifat escorts Hawadia to her home, she presents him with the tie she had bought for him, and Maggie, who was in the car, observes this exchange. When he returns to the car, Maggie remarks that lunch has been the highlight of her trip so far. She then asks him if his first love was a ghost, to which he questions whether she believes in ghost stories being from Scotland. She inquires about how his brother broke his leg. Rifat mentions he doesn't remember but speculates it might have happened while they were playing on the roof of an abandoned house. They created the ghost story, which everyone believed because it was so frightening. Maggie says that he refuses to believe that it never happened, and Scotland also has its share of ghost stories. Following this, he drops her off at her hotel, where she surprises him with a birthday gift. She presents him with the only photo they have together from their school days. He expresses how upset he was when he lost it. She confesses that she didn't reveal this to his family but learned Arabic because she loved the poem written on the back of the photo. She then tells him that he doesn't have to accompany her into the hotel and departs. Rifat begins to smoke outside the hotel and reflects on his feelings for Maggie. He expresses that he will never cease to love Maggie, even if the most extraordinary events were to occur. He vows to love her until the end of the world, until the stars fall from the sky, until planets collide and suns fade away, until the moon is extinguished, and all the seas and rivers run dry. He promises to love her until he becomes senile, and his memory fades, until his tongue can no longer speak her name, until his heart beats its last. It's only then he contemplates that he might stop loving her. As he muses on this, Shiraz is seen crawling under his bed, and he tells himself that Shiraz doesn't exist. Thanks for joining us on our horror movie recap adventure. If you enjoyed the chills, subscribing would mean a lot. Drop a comment to share your thoughts and keep the terror alive. Stay spooky and see you soon.